Hello and welcome to Crime Watch. I'm Jane Cameron with Sergeant Mike Lovchick of the Buena Park Police Department and Captain Larry Kurtz of the Orange County Fire Authority. Now, we don't normally have the fire department join us on our shows, so there's got to be a real important reason.
Well, it is getting a lot closer to the 4th of July, so we always like to have a presentation on fireworks and safety and things like that, and what better person to come out and join us but Larry Kurtz.
Captain Kurtz, I know all you're thinking about right now is the 4th of July.
It is on our mind and on all of our brothers and sisters in the Orange County Fire Authority, as well as all law enforcement.
What is it that people need to know about the 4th?
Well, the 4th of July should always be remembered as a time of celebration of our country's independence, and we do that with fireworks. Now, year in and year out, the Orange County Fire Authority and our partner agencies tell the same message out there about safety with fireworks. But unfortunately, the statistics just don't change. Every year, approximately 10,000 people in this country are severely injured by the use of fireworks, both legal and illegal. Most of them children between the ages of 5 and 9. What we want to stress to people is, one, if the fireworks are illegal in your city, don't use the fireworks. If they are legal in your city, use common sense. Now, here in Buena Park, we have a fantastic fireworks show that's usually put on by our friends over the Knott's Berry Farm. A fantastic show. I've seen it myself. But if you do use fireworks, we ask people, always have adult supervision for your kids. Number one, if your child is under 18 years of age and they cause damage with fireworks, you as a parent can be liable for that damage. And if they're over 18, they can be liable for damage.
We have the booths that are in the city, the safe and sane fireworks, and you mentioned safe and sane doesn't always mean that it's safe or sane. What do people do with those fireworks that makes them unsafe?
People get the fireworks, and unfortunately, suddenly everyone becomes an expert in fireworks design. They take fireworks apart, they try and pour powders together. These fireworks were assembled by professionals, and they should be lit as is. People try and crimp them, people try and do them together, they try and bundle them all up. It just creates for a very dangerous situation that usually results in tragedy, unfortunately.
I know it's not fun to bring up the injuries that we've seen, but what have been some of the injuries that we've seen in this county from fireworks and the damage they cause?
The majority of injuries that we see from the use of fireworks, both legal and illegal, are primarily burn injuries to the hands and burn injuries to the face. On top of that, we have a permanent eye injury. People have gone blind as a result of using these fireworks. We ask that something as innocuous as a sparkler. Here's an interesting tidbit fact. Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Glass melts at 600 degrees Fahrenheit. A sparkler burns at 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you're going to give that to your young child to run around the front lawn, I don't know if that's the safest thing to do. If you are going to do these things, we ask that you use common sense. Always have parental supervision, have a bucket nearby to put these fireworks out, and don't allow people to modify these things.
Now, we see this very interesting demonstration that you do for the press about fireworks. What are you trying to show people about that event?
What we want to show them is the effect of fireworks, what happens when you light these things off, the power of these fireworks. People think that, they're fireworks, nothing could happen to them. The worst thing that can happen is a little bit of burned skin. We want to show the power of some of these fireworks. What we usually utilize is an M80, which is the equivalent of a quarter stick of dynamite. They're sold illegally in most places, and what we do is we actually place them inside of a dead chicken, and we also put them inside a watermelon to show the power potential of these fireworks. We actually had a case last year in Santa Ana where a firework did explode in an individual's hands and amputated both hands from him.
Sergeant Lovchick, I can only imagine that the officers are very busy during the 4th of July.
Matter of fact, the entire weekend we're very busy because fireworks go on sale on the 1st of July. So they're sold from July 1st through July 4th. So starting on the 1st of July, we are busy. As a matter of fact, we were just sitting here a couple minutes ago and I heard a firework go off. So.
It's not July 1st.
It's not even July 1st, but yeah, we have already been starting to field the calls. But again, like I said, the fireworks stands open. The rules say, though, that you cannot shoot off, you cannot discharge legal fireworks, safe and sane fireworks, until the 4th of July. So we'll get a lot of calls that people, will say that, hey, they're shooting off fireworks and it's the legal ones, and they'll think, well, maybe it's okay to do it. However, the laws do clearly state that you can only shoot off and discharge these types of fireworks on the 4th of July. And a lot of the, matter of fact, all of the fireworks stands that are opened in the city of Buena Park throughout those 4 days are handing out literature and leaflets to the people when they make their purchases that clearly spell out all of the rules and regulations regarding the discharge of fireworks.
What number should people call if they see fireworks being used before the 4th?
Well, obviously, if it's a life or death emergency, that's a 911 call. However, if they're just reporting fireworks in the sky, or my neighbors, shooting off sparklers or firecrackers beforehand, they can call our regular business line at 714-562-3901.
Now, when somebody calls and they say they see the illegal fireworks, does it help the officers to know if there's an address or a specific location, or is general okay?
Well, obviously, specifically, if they can point out a specific person or an address of who is discharging these fireworks, it makes it a lot easier for us to be able to locate it. The majority of the calls, however, is they're shooting off fireworks down the street. Well,
they're up in the air.
Up in the air, and so that's a little bit harder to be able to pinpoint exactly where they're coming from. A lot of times, though, we'll go out on these calls, and if we're just in the presence, in the area, making a presence, a lot of times it'll stop. But unfortunately, like I said, there is a lot of calls that come in throughout the entire 4th of July weekend.
And we don't want the fires, we don't want the injuries, we just want a nice 4th, right?
As Larry says, we want people to enjoy the celebration. We want people to remember the real reason for the 4th of July, the celebration and the freedom of our country that we have, that we can do these types of things. But we do ask that they do act responsibly and don't do dumb things.
Thank you for joining us for our 4th of July fireworks press conference. The Orange County Fire Authority, Orange County Sheriffs, and UCI Irvine's Regional Burn Center are partnering up today to educate the public about the dangers of fireworks and illegal explosives. Myself and everyone here want the 4th of July to be remembered as a time getting together with your families and the great American holiday, not as a tragedy. I have the privilege to announce our partners today. First off, we have Investigator Merle Miralles from the Orange County Sheriff's Bomb Squad, who will talk about the dangers of illegal explosives and help us demonstrate just how damaging they can be. We also welcome Dr. Victor Joe, one of the directors of the UCI Irvine Regional Burn Center in Orange, who will be discussing some common fireworks injuries and give us some warnings. Following our speakers, the Orange County Sheriff's Department Bomb Squad will demonstrate the severe consequences of playing with illegal explosives when they help us blow up a chicken and watermelon to show us the devastating effects of these explosives. We'll also show the dangers of a seemingly safe fireworks as we show the effects of a sparkler on a piece of child's clothing. Again, thank you for being here today. All of you in the media play a vital role in helping us educate the public. Year after year, we try and get the message out to the public about the dangers about fireworks. Unfortunately, year in and year out, the statistics just don't seem to change. There are over 10,000 injuries every year across the United States by people playing with fireworks, both legal and illegal. A lot of these injuries are focused on children ages 5 to 9 years old. Over half of these are actual burn injuries. If fireworks are not legal where you live, we ask you not to use them. If you live in a city that allows safe and sane fireworks, please use caution and common sense. Purchase only State Fire Marshal approved safe and sane fireworks. They must have the State Fire Marshal seal on them. You can see the seal over here on the table to my left. And can be purchased at licensed fireworks stands. But even the most innocent looking fireworks can have devastating consequences. Consider your average sparkler. Sparklers are considered pretty harmless, but they're handed out to kids all the time at parties, but they can create some extreme heat. How much heat? Let me give you an example. Water burns at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Glass melts at 900 degrees. A sparkler burns at 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. Please don't let them wave sparklers near other people or their clothing. Ensure snug clothing is used, not loose. Fireworks are not toys and should be handled by adults only. Kids aged 5 to 9 years old have the highest fireworks-related injury across the country. Parents, please supervise your children Adult supervision is critical with safe and sane fireworks. Parents, as a reminder, you are liable for any damages caused by your children by playing with fireworks. If you are over the age of 18, you are personally responsible for any damage or injuries caused by fireworks, including wildfires. If you have a bucket of water nearby, spent fireworks should be disposed of in a closed metal container after soaking it in water. If someone does get burned, cool the burn area with cool water only. Use fireworks outside and one at a time. Don't light them all off at once. And never use fireworks near dry grass or flammable materials. We would also ask that you never attempt to fix fireworks. If it doesn't go off, don't try to relight it. We want the 4th of July, again, to be remembered as a celebration of our country's independence and a time to enjoy with family and friends, not one that's marred by life-changing tragedy. And now I'd like to present Investigator Merle Mireless from the Orange County Sheriff's Bomb Squad, who has some important information.
This is not a firework. This, on the streets, commonly referred to as a M80 or M100, is not a firework. It is an illegal explosive. I'm going to touch on these a little further in my talk, but right now I want to focus on safe and sane fireworks. Examples of safe and sane fireworks include cracklers, fountains, sparklers, smoke bombs, and whistlers. Safe and sane fireworks are designed so that they don't move. They are designed to stay still and emit showers of sparks, emit smoke, and make noise. Safe and sane fireworks must have a state fire marshal seal on them or they are illegal. And an example of the state fire marshal seal that I'm talking about is right over here on the table. In Orange County, it is illegal to use safe and sane fireworks unless you're using them in the following cities. And those cities are Anaheim, Buena Park, Costa Mesa, Fullerton, Garden Grove, Huntington Beach, Santa Ana, Stanton, Villa Park, and Westminster. And those cities are also listed over here, posted on the table over here to my left. Keep in mind, each of these cities have their own restrictions on the dates, times, and locations that safe and sane fireworks can be used in those cities. And I encourage you to go online and check the city for those restrictions before you start using your safe and sane fireworks. If you live in a city that doesn't allow safe and sane fireworks, then going to a public firework display is probably your best option. You can go to ocfa.org to find a public firework display show near you. Pressing on to the second category of fireworks, dangerous fireworks, over here to my right. Examples of dangerous fireworks include all firecrackers. Any firework that rises into the air like a bottle rocket, like a mortar. Dangerous fireworks also include anything that discharges balls of fire, like a Roman candle. It is a misdemeanor to possess, transport, and ignite a dangerous fireworks unless you have a permit. Let me repeat, it is a misdemeanor to transport, to possess, to ignite a dangerous firework without a permit, punishable by up to 1 year in county jail and or up to $1,000 fine. If you have in your possession over 100 pounds of dangerous fireworks, it becomes a felony. Moving on to the third thing, explosives. And I just want to reiterate, this is not a firework. This is an example of an explosive. Explosives are anything bigger than a firecracker that explodes. It is a felony to possess an explosive anywhere in the United States. It is a felony, I'm going to repeat, to possess, transport, or ignite an explosive anywhere in the United States, punishable by up to a $10,000 fine and up to 6 years in state prison. So in summation, we talked about safe and sane fireworks. We talked about the cities that allow them. We talked about the restrictions that each city has for them. We talked about how it's illegal if they don't have the state fire marshal seal. We talked about dangerous fireworks. We talked about how it is a misdemeanor to possess, transport, and ignite them unless you have a permit. And I told you that explosives are not fireworks and that it is a felony to possess, transport, and ignite those.
What are often referred to as safe and sane fireworks provide no guarantee that you or a child won't be hurt by mishandling sparklers or firecrackers. Fortunately, in years past, there have not been many injuries in Orange County. Unfortunately, injuries to kids are skyrocketing nationally, according to a recent study. And in fact, last year we at UC Irvine saw a dramatic increase in fireworks-related injuries as well, including two individuals less than 18 years of age that lost significant portions of their hand from fireworks. While illegal fireworks are always an issue, we also believe this increase is directly related to more communities permitting the sale of safe and sane fireworks. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, nearly 75% of injuries are to males, and about a third are to children under 14 years old. Always watch your children around fireworks. In addition, about 34% of these injuries occur in adults ages 25 to 44. What should you do in the case of an injury to a child or to yourself? Immediately flush or submerge small burns with cool water for about 5 minutes. Do not put ice on the wound, as ice can further damage the skin. Avoid putting any creams, oils, butter, or anything else onto the wound. And for any significant injury, call 911. Most of the injuries we see in our trauma center and outpatient burn center around the 4th of July are to the hands, fingers, and to the face. But injuries also happen to the eyes, so we recommend eye protection when handling fireworks. On behalf of the UC Irvine Burn Center and our burn team, we wish everyone a safe and a happy 4th of July and time spent with family and friends. We'd also like to thank the OCFA and also the Orange County Sheriffs for all that they do to provide safety and to protect our citizens. And now I'm going to ask Captain Kurtz to come back, and he'll help us to close out our conference with some demonstrations about the dangers of fireworks.
This concludes the informational portion of our conference. All individuals, as said before, will be available for one-on-one interview opportunities after our demonstration is concluded. Now, if you give us a few moments to set up our demonstration, we will conclude by showing the potential destructive power of illegal fireworks. Thank you.
So we had to leave the station pretty quickly. What's going on?
Well, patrol officers are working a call that possibly involves an armed subject who's barricaded inside of an apartment. They had responded a little while ago to the area, and when they got in the area, the subject that supposedly is armed with a handgun fled from the officers on foot, and he ended up going inside of an apartment. And so what we're doing now is heading over that way. They already have it contained, so they have a perimeter set up around the house, or containment around the house. And what they're doing now is trying to talk to the subject, at least make contact with the subject right now.
So we hear the beeping on the radio. That means?
That beep on the radio, what that is for is to keep routine and normal traffic off the air. So it reminds people who are not involved with this particular incident to stay off the radio, because it's emergency traffic only at this particular point for that particular channel and that particular incident. If there's other officers who are still in the city handling other calls, they're going to go to a different frequency. But that beep, what it does, it reminds them not to get on the air and put anything that is not related to this particular call.
What type of things are set up for this call that are not normal?
Well, as far as, what do you mean by that?
Well, we're going to the command post.
Right. We're going to head over to the command post. We're going to see what's going on over that way, and what we'll do is we're going to kind of stay back from the scene for now because we don't want to interfere with it. But for the most part, like I said, what we're going to do is get there as quick as we can. But at the same time, we're just going to go ahead and let the incident commander that is handling the incident make his decisions and do what he's going to do.
So we're at the location now, but we're not going to be walking down closer to it.
Right. We're going to let the officers that have the scene contained, going to let them take care of business. The last thing they need is another looky-loo over there interfering with their operations. But right now it's kind of a stagnant type of thing. There's really nothing going on at this particular point. They've got the place surrounded basically, and what they're trying to do now is just confirm whether or not he is actually inside this apartment.
So there are people that are on the sidewalk, and so it's across the street, but then you see some people walking down there. It's kind of flexible on the scene containment?
It is. I'm sure they have the entire complex roped off as far as crime scene tape and what have you. Obviously, I haven't been over there. I don't know what the incident commander over that area is taking care of, or I should say the supervisor in that area is doing. But at the same time, it's probably enough to where they're comfortable with the containment that they have, and people can still move it up and down the street freely.
You've got a lot of officers here. So is the rest of the city quiet right now?
You know, I'm not listening to the other channel. I'm presuming that things are being handled. Usually what will happen is that the field supervisor is over here at this particular call. I don't think we have a secondary supervisor tonight, so he might be getting updates from his dispatchers telling him what's going on. There's urgent calls pending. Not every one of our officers is here. There are a couple of other officers that are available to handle other calls. Also, remember, we've talked about mutual aid in the past too, where we can always call up Anaheim or La Palma or Cypress Police Department and say, hey, look, can you follow us up on this particular call so we can handle those calls that are pending.
Now, this situation, he was seen with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't threatening anybody. Is this going a little bit over the idea of, is it making it more of a big deal than it is, or was there really a danger?
Well, you don't really want to see people walking down the street with a handgun, whether or not they're brandishing it, you know, and threatening people with it, or even just in their hands. That is
because you know you're not supposed to.
Right, that is cause for concern. So I would not call this overreacting. I call this acting appropriately, because you do not want people walking down your street with guns in their hands.
And who knows what he was planning to do, and it got stopped.
Correct, exactly. And like you said, we don't know the circumstances of it, other than the fact that we got a call of somebody saying there's somebody walking down the street with a handgun in his hand right now. So we have to react appropriately.
So for people that are living nearby, they may be evacuated from their place as well.
I believe the apartment complex that they're at, all the residents were evacuated out of their apartments. But as you can see, there's still people walking through and walking around. In fact, I think this complex here is just east of it. So people can go in and out of there. And like I said, there's no obvious imminent threat to the public at this particular point.
So don't forget, have fun on the 4th, but be safe, right?
Absolutely.
We don't want you to get hurt, and we don't want anything burned down either. If you have any questions about tonight's show, you can call the Buena Park Police Department at 562-3901. Check them out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the website, and in your neighborhood. With Sergeant Mike Lovchick, I'm Jane Cameron. Thanks for watching.